Hello and welcome. Today I want to show you some new product that the Tatting Corner is now carrying. She has decided to start trying to get overseas vendors to sell through her store. If she can work it out, we'll be able to avoid having to wait a lengthy amount of time for customs to send it to us personally. So with that in mind, let's get on with it. This is the penny thread. As you can see, I have a variety of different colors that it comes in. This is not even a snippet of what colors it comes in. This is just my own personal collection that I'm gathering up. I'm planning on in the future doing a complete series on the Ankar's technique, and the penny thread will work for that. Penny thread, Edagastala makes it, and it's tatting thread for tatters. So don't think it's just something that I've just picked up along the way. It is tatting thread. It is designed specifically for tatting. However, it is a polyester thread. And as you can see, the ends of the polyester thread tends to fray. To stop that, what I do with all the polyester threads, I have this little jewel. It's called a thread zapper. Now you can use nail polish on this, as Lisa suggests, but given that thought, when you use nail polish on any tatting, with wear and tear, the nail polish does chip off. This burns that thread and flushes it, okay? And you just run it across it, alright? It's a heated element. It doesn't leave any trace, but it melts that polyester so it stays, it won't fray anymore. Okay? Now, like I said, this is mainly used to make jewelry and Ankars with. That's what she designed this for. However, you can tat doilies, trims, edgings. You can tat whatever you want with it. And I have to say, this is really a nice tatting thread. Alright, it slides gracefully. You don't get the kinks and the twisting up and stuff that you get with some tatting threads. But given that thought, it has its drawbacks. It frays. So invest. Get you a thread zapper. Alright, it's just a little burning tool to melt that. I use this when I use the Ceylon thread. And before Lisa started carrying this, because it would take so long. Every time I've ordered from overseas anything, it's set in customs. And I just swore that the people in customs saying, okay, what is this stuff? Alright, or they figured it out and they've been playing with it. Because I have had items take up to 4 months to get to me. So, with that thought in mind, buying from Lisa is a great idea when it comes to these products from overseas. Because she keeps a stock of them. So, but I was using Ceylon to do the Ankars with. The thing about the Ceylon thread, okay, that's what they use. It's a micro macrame cord, and that's what they use it for. Well, you have to heavily treat that cord in order for it to work like tatting thread. I use Thread Heaven, and it's just coated in Thread Heaven to give it the slide that tatters need on rings and chains to make them do what they need them to do. This penny thread, you don't have to do that. That takes that step completely out. So it stops me from having to run my thread through the Thread Heaven or beeswax and then wind it on my shuttle and then tat with it and use it throughout the tatting process. Because as you use it, that Thread Heaven and beeswax tends to come off. Alright? So the polyester slides great. I've used polyester sewing thread and layered it in 3, 4, 5 strands, however thickness I needed to get, you know, what I wanted it to do. This takes that out. This is about the size of a size 20 thread. It does not stretch like cotton. Okay? So when you tat with it, it's going to be firm. It's going to hold its shape. So when you add heavy beads to this, like they do in the Ankars, it's not going nowhere. It's not going to move. It's there. Alright? Whereas if you put heavy beads on cotton thread, it stretches out. It gets bigger. So if you make a bracelet out of cotton thread and you're using, say, a 9mm bead, and you're using a truckload of beads, because in anchors you use a lot of beads. When you're making jewelry, you want that sparkle. So you use a lot of beads to get the sparkle. It weighs that cotton thread down until your tight bracelet turns into a bangle. Okay, using cotton thread. So you have to put something with the cotton thread. So you're working with 2 strands of thread. And usually as tatters we use the chronic, or we get the DMC, diamante thread, both of which are wonderful threads, don't get me wrong. But for some tatters, using double threads or 3 threads or 4 threads to get the depth that they need on the size of thread, it gets to be a problem for them, because they're trying to keep the twist out of everything, keep everything from tangling up and making knots. So they get frustrated. Etta, with her design here on the penny thread, has stopped that. And this has got a sheen to it like no other. Okay? I mean, it just sparkles. Look at that. No matter how I turn it, you get depth and dimension with it. So, in a future video, you will be seeing me use the penny thread. And you're going to get a first-hand glimpse of how well it works. Alright? I've got several tag-alongs coming up, and one of them is the ice drops. Now, those are gorgeous. Don't get me wrong, they will look beautiful on a Christmas tree. All the lights sparkling and just glittering off the ice drops. So, I'm going to use the penny thread doing the ice drop tag-along, and it's Diane Cardamonte's pattern, and that's what I'm using. So, that's coming up. I've got several tag-alongs scheduled to come out. But first, I've got to get some technique videos out. So with that said, this is the penny thread. I've got red, I've got turquoise, I've got the white, I've got mouse gray. This looks more like a graphite type metal. Okay? I've got purple, I've got emerald. Look at that deep emerald green. I want you to look at this. It is so deep. Now, can you imagine using this with gold beads? Look at that. Look at that color. I mean, outstanding color. I've got a powdered gold that looks like real gold. Okay? Check this out. This is the powdered gold. Now, it's in the bag. I don't want to get my threads dirty, so I keep them in the bag. But look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And look, this one is called Impala Brown. That is a rich copper. You know, the darker, like a bronze type color. That's more what that is, a bronze. And when you're tatting with it, that's what it looks like. It looks like a bronze metal. We've got iron. Look at that. And this fuchsia, oh my gosh. Bright, vivid. And then we have the mallow. Look, I mean, just gorgeous. And now this comes in solids and variegated. So, I mean, you've got quite an assortment of colors to pick from. And it's not overly priced. This is a 25-yard spool. And it's selling for, I think it's like $4.25, which is not a lot for a good tatting thread that will hold up to wear and tear. Okay, it's running right along the same price as the handy hands. Okay, even though you get a little more of the handy hands, that's a cotton thread. This is a polyester thread. Alright, so get you some of it, play with it, enjoy it. Alright, and like I said, we'll be doing a complete anchor series so you can learn to make your own anchors. I'm going to go in depth on how it's started, how to do it, all the different techniques you need. So, look out for it. Alright? Hopefully by the class start in September, I'll have the NCAR series out. I'm hoping, but I have a lot of videos backed up. So, call Lisa, place an order, get you some penny thread. It's well worth the money. Alright? So, I hope that helps you. And until next time, happy tatting. Have a wonderful day. And thank you so much for watching.